Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be predicting Jack Steele's Brownlow medal results for 2021. He is the third favourite for the Brownlow. He's had a phenomenal year. We're going to go through every round and see what we think Steele will poll at the Brownlow medal in 2021. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to do something different today. I've got Tier Maker in front of me, and for anyone that doesn't really know what that is, a lot of YouTubers use this tool for rankings or for voting, categorizing, a lot of those things, and I thought this could be a very fitting way to go through each round and populate those sections with a Jack Steele if he gets votes. So for instance, if Jack Steele gets 3 votes and we think he's guaranteed to get 3 votes in that game, we will plop him right there, and there's good old Jackie Steele looking pretty good there with 3 votes. So hopefully there's a lot in that category and not so much in the 1 vote, no vote, which I don't think we'll get too many on, but we'll see as we go. So without further ado, we've got the votes in front of me. I don't have the votes in front of me, sorry. I've got the rounds in front of me. So let's go through St Kilda's rounds. From rounds 1 to 23 and see how Jack Steele polls, and we'll get this going. So round 1 we played GWS. We won by 8 points. And Jack Steele, how did he go in that game? 19 disposals, 9 tackles, 1 point. Probably not a game that he's going to get votes in. I've also got, as a backup, I have got the Brownlow predictor in front of me, as well as the AFL Coaches Association coaches votes for the round. So unfortunately for round 1, Jack Steele, 0 there and 0 in the coaches votes. So you're tipping in the Brownlow, he's probably going to go with no votes. So that's the first one. That's round 1. Now for round 2, we played Melbourne. Again, disappointing result against Melbourne. 18 points. Jack Steele's performance. 3 goals, 24 disposals, 6 tackles, 12 kicks, 12 handballs, 109 fantasy points. He was technically the 3rd rated Saint on the ground. The Brownlow predictor has Jack Steele for 1 vote in that game. In the Coaches Association, if we go to round 2, it's got Jack Steele 1 coach's vote. So I find it hard to believe that he gets 1 coach's vote and he's going to get 1 vote in the Brownlow because of that. So based on that, again, I think that they've got Salem 9 votes, Clayton Oliver 9 votes, Gawn, Pickett, Petrarca all above him, and they won the game. They're going to favour Melbourne. So we know out of the first 2, we know that Jack Steele's probably not going to end up with any votes. So that's not a great start, but we know at some point Steele's going to get going. Round 3 doesn't get any better. We lost that game by 75 points, and Steele had the most disposals on the ground, kicked a goal, highest rating on the ground, 4 tackles, 35 disposals. The Brownlow predictor, because we lost by 75 points, again, no votes. Now we've got round 4. Jack Steele is predicted to get 3 Brownlow votes in this game. He had 33, kicked a goal, 121 fantasy points. He was the 2nd rated Saint on the ground, or 2nd player on the ground. Crouch was actually above him, but less disposals and 6 more tackles for Crouch, but no goals. So I feel like this could be his first 3 of the day, and I reckon Crouch is going to get the 2 just because of the way the Brownlow works. I'm tipping Steele to get the 3. So let's go there. We've got Jack Steele for his first 3 votes, his first votes overall in round 4. Now round 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Steele is tipped not to get a single vote. But I reckon we can find some. I've done a bit of research, and I'll talk a bit about that throughout the video. But there's a game there where they don't give him any votes, but he gets the most coaches' votes, equal most. So we'll talk about that a bit more. But let's go straight into round 5. No votes. We can go through these fairly quickly. We lost by 86 points. Steele, again, 26 disposals, second-rated player on the ground, but we lost by 86. So I can't see how anyone is going to pick Steele over any Richmond player when they pretty much killed us after quarter time. So no votes for Steele there. Let's go round 6. Port Adelaide away. That was a fun day. Steele, 27, but there was Spoke, Burton, Burn-Jones, Jonas, Houston, Wines, Amon, and Seb Ross ended up with 31, the most on the ground, but there was about 7 other Port Adelaide players ahead of him. So again, I don't think he's getting any votes. Not a good start. That is what? Round 6, and he's got 3 votes so far. Now we go into round 7, Hawthorne. We beat them by about 10 goals. Jones is going to get the 3 votes in that one, 37 and 2. And Steely had 27, but very low on the ratings here. Minimal coaches' votes as well. Clark had 26 and kicked 2. Ross had 29. Crouch had 32. Butler had 18 and kicked 3. Even Brad Hill, he had finished with 27. Billings 32. So I actually don't think he's getting votes in that game either. Not looking good, Saners. And now from there we go into round 8. Now I think this is where it gets interesting. Round 8. Billings, kicked 2, had 25. Number 1 ranked player on the ground. Could get the 3. But Jack Steele also kicked 2, had 27. The most disposals out of any of the Saints. Or out of the 2 top-rated players. 9 handballs, 7 marks, 8 tackles. The most of any Saint. And we won. So I think that Steele, again, similar to the 3 votes in the last couple of games, I think he's going to be favoured because of his standing in the Brownlow, and I think that he's going to get the 3, and Billings will get the 2. So that's 6 votes in the Brownlow predictor. As I mentioned earlier, it was interesting. In round 8, Brownlow predictor has Jack Steele for 0 votes. Yet he's had 27, kicked 2, had the most tackles out of any Saint, and we won. And the coach's votes gave him 8 votes out of a possible 10, equal with Jack Billings, who got 8 votes out of a possible 10. So this is why I wanted to do this video, guys, because the Brownlow predictor has Steely at 29 votes overall and Clayton Oliver at 34. But later in the year, there's a game where Clayton Oliver gets 2 votes, and I've looked at the stats, and there is no way that you'd think he's getting 2 votes in that game. And that's the case for a few games for him and for Bontempelli. So hopefully by the end of this video, we can look and see that Steele is going to get some decent votes. And the Brownlow's going to be a lot closer than we think. And maybe our boy's a big chance to win it. So right now, it's not looking great. He's on 6 votes out of, 8 games. Probably not in the top 10 at the moment in the Brownlow, the way that's going. But we'll go on to round 9. We played Geelong. We lost that by 21. Steele had 23 and a goal. But a lot of Geelong players were ahead of him. And Max King dominated but didn't kick straight. So Billings 20, Crouch 28. Ross had 26. And then you've got Guthrie, Toohey, Duncan. They all were ahead of Steele and Geelong won. So I think, that's probably a no votes game again. And then we've got round 10. This was the last stretch of games where he was predicted not to get votes. And then after this, it gets a bit interesting. While we don't really want to talk about round 10, we lost by 111 points. The Bulldogs ran riot. He's not getting any votes. No Saints getting close to any votes in that game. So after round 10, Steely's on 6 votes. He has 13 games. At the same time in this predictor, Oliver's on 2, 5, 7, 8, 11. He's nearly on 20 already. So Steele has got a lot of room to move. And Bont predicted to be on 5, 8, 9, 12, 14, 15 by round 10. So he's about 10 off Bont and close to 13 or 14 off Oliver. And they're the 2 favourites ahead of Steele for the Brownlow. So room to move. Now we get into the fun stuff. Round 11. We played North. We won that game by 20 points. And Dunstan had 26. Crouch had 26 and a goal. Steele had 24 and 12 tackles. He's predicted to get 2 votes in this game. But it's going to be tricky. I'll give him Dunstan, 26 and 13 tackles. You'd think he'd be up there for 3 votes. So I reckon he's going to get the 3. And they're going to go with maybe Steele for 2 and Crouch for 1. I'll go that. So we'll go Steele 2 and then Crouch for 1. So that takes Steele to 8 votes in the first 11 weeks. Now, there's 2 games in a row here coming up that he's predicted to get 3 votes. So that's in round 12. We lose that game to Sydney, but Steele had 31, kicked a goal, 9 tackles, and was clearly the best player on the ground. Crouch had 38 and 7 tackles, so he could well poll as well, which is funny because we lost that game, but we should have won it. And Higgins kicked 1 goal, 6, and had 23 disposals, and you'd think if he had kicked straight, we would have won, and he would have kicked a bag, and he would have gotten the 3 votes. But we'll stick with this. I'm happy to give Steele the 3, even though we lost. A lot of Sydney players had a lot of the ball, but Steele's stats are miles ahead of everyone's here. So we'll give Steele the 3 there, and we'll back the Brownlow predictor. Boom. Round 13. Oh, we don't want to talk about this game. The Adelaide debacle, where we were 6 goals up and we lost. Steele, again, 34 disposals and 12 tackles. Keys had 31 and 10 tackles. Laird had 33 and 8. Seedsman 31 and 6. We were winning for a lot of that game, so I think that's going to help him here. So I'm willing to back the predictor again. He's not getting lower than 2, so we'll give him the 3. 3 votes, Jack Steele. Now we've got the bye, and he comes back and is supposed to poll in the next 4 games. Right after the bye, round 15, we played Richmond. We won by 40 points. This was the game that Dunstan went berserk. Dunstan got the medal, which in itself tells me that Jack Steele's not getting the 3 votes in this game. It's going to be Dunstan 3, and then Steele finished 25 and 9 tackles, Crouch 25 and 7, Dunstan 32, only the 1 tackle, but we all know that he got the medal. He got the Jack Dyer medal for a reason. He's not getting lower than 3 votes in that game. So I'm going to go Dunstan 3, and I think Steele is going to sneak the 2. Now round 16. We beat Collingwood by 9 points. Oh, this is an easy one. Jack Steele, 157 Dream Team, 30 head of the next player, 36 disposals, 14 tackles. Easiest one so far. Boom. 3 votes, Jack Steele. Now, he's going for another 3 in round 17 when we beat Brisbane by 32, one of our best performances of the year. He had 32, 2 goals, 7 tackles, 138 Dream Team, 20 ahead of the next player. No one's catching him there. Another 3 votes for Jack Steele. And now, predicted to get 2 votes in round 18. Let's see how he goes in this one. We lose this game to Port. Round 13, Steele has 37 and a goal, along with 7 tackles. Most on the ground, most disposals on the ground. Kicked a goal, but Ollie Wines also had 36, kicked a goal, and his team won. I think he's going to get pipped there. I think they're going to give Ollie Wines 3 just because his team won. And he was pretty amazing in that game overall. And I think Steele is going to get the 2. So that's after round 18. We've got Steele on 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 2, 4, 6, 18, 2, 4, 6, 24 votes with about 5 games to go. It's going to get tight, but that's pretty solid because there's a lot of no votes early and he's starting to build a lot of form. Now we're into round 19, 94 to 86. We lose to West Coast. How did Steely go in this one? 18 disposals, 13 tackles. He's technically the equal second rated, best rated player on the ground because of his 13 tackles. The next best player on the ground out of both teams for tackles was Hunter and Yo, and they finished on 5. Steele had 13. And they've got him for no votes in this game. And we only lost by 8 points. So let's go with... I really think that he could pitch... Yeah, we've got Gaff on 29. He got the most. Sheed had 32 and kicked 2 goals. I reckon he gets the 3. Jones had 32. Butler had 20 and 2. It's going to be hard. I want to give him the 1 vote because he had 13 tackles. But King kicked... Oh, sorry, I forgot. King kicked 6. That stuffs him. King's going to get 1 vote, and it's going to be Gaff and probably a Sheed for 3 and 2. So no votes there for Steely. Disappointing. I was hoping to sneak one there. Round 20. We lose to Carlton Friday night by 5 goals. Probably one of our worst performances of the year. But although we lost that game badly, it's got predicted again, no votes. But still had 36, 20 kicks, 16 handballs, 5 marks, 14 tackles, 162 Dream Team points, 23 ahead of the next player, which was Rowan Marshall, and then behind them was Silvani. So I genuinely think there is every chance that Jack Steele can get 1 vote here. He's predicted to get none. The coaches' votes, on the other hand, let's have a look. Round 20. This is always a good backup. Steele got 4 coaches' votes. Silvani got 9. Walsh got 7. Mackay got 7. Steele got 4. I reckon Silvani gets 3. And I reckon maybe one of Walsh or Mackay gets 2 and Steele for the 1. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give him the 1. That performance, 36 and 14 tackles in a loss. That's massive. And that's the best player on the ground. He's legitimately the best player on the ground despite the results. I'm going to go for his first 1 vote of the year. I'm going to give him the 1 vote there because that is a stellar performance when you look at those numbers. All right, round 21. We beat Sydney. Steely is predicted to get the big 3 in this one, which is perfect timing to end the year. Steele finishes with 34, 1 goal, 7 tackles, 139 Dream Team, 21 ahead of the next best player, which was Rowan Marshall. Again, 3 votes. That's an easy one. There we go. So that leaves him now with 2 games to go, and he's predicted to poll in the next 2 games. We lost to Geelong by 14 in round 22. Steele got 30 and 5 tackles. But Menegola had 35 and a goal, 36 to Guthrie, 31 to Danger, 16 to Stanley. Even Cameron kicked 4. They've given him one vote, I think, in this game. I don't know. What do you reckon, guys? That's thrown me a little bit. 30, but there's about 4 Geelong players. But we did start the game on fire and still had 14 or like 20 at half time. I think he was flying. So maybe that could be something that catches the umpire's eye. I'll stick with it. I'm a bit suspect about this 1 vote, but we'll give it to him anyway because he's Jack Steele and he's our boy. And that brings us to round 23 when we smashed Freo. How did we go in this one? Steele, 36, 17 kicks, 19 handballs, 7 marks, 6 tackles, 134 Dream Team, 17 ahead of the next player, and that player again was Rowan Marshall. So that just shows you Rowe's form in the last month of the year. He was right behind Steele for best player in our team. So that's going to be 3 votes to Steele. Cooper Sharman kicked 4, but I don't think he's getting 3 off the 4. Membry kicked 3 as well, but Steele clearly the best player on the ground, so we'll give him the 3 there. Now, the other thing I was going to mention, guys, when people look at this Brownlow predictor, is that Clayton Oliver is predicted to get 2 votes in round 21. Now, if I go to round 21 here, Melbourne win. They beat West Coast by 9 points in a close game. In the stats, he's not on the first page. You have to scroll. There are literally how many players ahead of him? You have to scroll a fair way. He had 28, 3 tackles, 67 Dream Team. The top was Redden, 30 and a goal. Even Neil Bullen had 19 and kicked 2 and 8 tackles. Yo had 31. Prochaka had 28 and a goal. 27 to Sheed, 25 and a goal to Harms. 26 to Kelly. Gorn had 14 but with 26 hitouts. Jackson 21. There are a number of players ahead of him. That is nowhere near a 2-vote game. So if we're going by how crazy this Brownlow predictor is and stats and the coaches' votes, he also only got, I think, 1 or 2 coaches' votes in that game. He's not getting 2 votes in that game unless they really want him to win the Brownlow. But my point is, I mentioned earlier in the video, Steele was not supposed to poll votes in round 8. He was the best player on the ground with Jack Billings. They didn't even give him a 2 for that performance when he had 27 and kicked 2 and like 10 tackles. But at the same time, Oliver, who wasn't even in the first 15 players on the ground from round 21, is expected to get 2 votes. So there's no logic there. But my logic for this is, based on what I've researched, take those 2 votes out for Oliver, add the 3 or possible 2 for Steele in round 8, and we're looking at a level playing field here. I haven't really looked at Bont, but when you look at Melbourne and Bulldogs overall, there are players that have had equally amazing games in some of the big games where these guys get 3 votes. So I could see a lot of Melbourne and a lot of Bulldogs players stealing votes off each other. There's a lot of even contributors across those teams, whereas with us, the primary A-grade player in our team when we win is Jack Steele. And even in our losses, and I feel like he can poll most more heavily than the other 2 in Bont and Oliver in losses. There are performances there where we lose games, but he's clearly the best player on the ground. So he could sneak 1, he could maybe even sneak 2, especially if Oliver can sneak 2 based on what I've just read there. We've got Jack Steele on 32 votes, whereas the AFL Brownlow predictor had him on 29. So the main difference is that round 8 game where he clearly is in the top 2 players on the ground and we win. There's no way he's not polling in that game. That's a big difference. And there are a couple of games with Oliver and Bont where they're predicted to poll, but there are players in their team that have had equal or better games in those predicted 3-vote, 2-vote games. So they're going to take votes off each other. It's going to be a problem for them, but that's why I think Jackie Steele could genuinely win the Brownlow this year. So let me know your thoughts, guys. That's the video there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Just thought I'd do a quick video and run through a little bit of a predictor. We've got our boy on 32 votes, which is enough based on this predictor to get him either second or potentially equal first. So it'd be amazing if this was a Buckley, Rashudo, and Adam Goods type scenario where we got a 3-way tie or just a general tie between the top 2. That'd be amazing. But I think either way we can see just from his second half of the year alone, considering he only had about 6 votes in the first 10 games, to finish on 32, based on what I've predicted here, is a massive second half of the year, and we only won 10 games. So that is pretty impressive considering Oliver's team and Bont's team all won over 14, 15 games for the season. So a bit of a head start there for them, but that just shows the level that Jack Steele's been at for season 2021. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching. I think the Brownlow's on September 19 at 5:30. I think that's a Sunday, so not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So it's going to be really exciting to see how Jack Steele goes on Brownlow night. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves. Big thank you to everyone that supported the channel, that has subscribed recently, liked and commented, and just engaged in the channel in general. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thanks for watching, and go you mighty Saners. See you guys.